G'day guys, my name's Josh. You can call me Woodle, and welcome back once again to 7 Days to Die in the brand new Alpha 18 update in the even more brand new B155 update. The build that only just came out, like literally for me, just then. I finished recording the last episode of the Fists Only challenge and I logged out and suddenly it was an update popped up and said, hey, there's a brand new update, you should probably download it. And I was like, oh, cool, I just went and recorded a whole bunch of episodes, but sure, why not? Now give me the update. But I was looking through some of the patch notes, and there was some pretty interesting stuff in there. Now, I normally don't do episodes dedicated to just, like, one thing in patch notes, but something was in there that was so intriguing that I thought it was worth coming into Little Park 2 and testing it out deliberately to see what has actually changed and how it works. And the patch note that got me intrigued was that they've now extended the penetration perk to cover archery as well. So not just hunting rifles and sniper rifles, you can now penetrate Jeffries with arrows and maybe crossbow bolts as well. At least that's the way that I understood it. So I have a chest here with all the different bows, all the different crossbows. Even though it sickens me to have to use a crossbow, I'm gonna put my personal preferences and tastes aside and I will test the crossbow to see how that goes too. But I've also got every type of arrow in here as well. In fact, just for symmetricality reasons, let's get them all lined up like that. So all the arrows, all the bows, all the crossbows, we're going to see how they work. But before I go and test out all the archery stuff, and we'll probably build myself an archery range too. There's nothing here really dedicated to archery right now, so I should probably build myself something, and I'm never going to turn down an opportunity to build something. But before I go out and do that, I need to head into the Hall of Legends again. If I got the, yeah, there it is, the Hall of Legends again, and say thank you to another group of superstars. And today, I'm thanking Regor, who has taken the blank space that was left on the wall there. Regor, thank you very much, and also Skitsy and Christine M. So those are your places on the Wall of Legends inside the Hall of Legends. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and thank you to all the other Patreons for your support and making Jawoodle a possibility. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Alright. With those guys thanked and the open air ready to go, let's go find a spot. Let's see where we can build. Let's make ourselves an archery range. It's not really going to take much. I'm just going to build it kind of next to the original kind of shooting range that I had when I was testing the hitboxes on some of the new blocks. So kind of just next to that, I think, right about here, I'll build myself another little platform. And I mean, look, like I haven't gone to many archery ranges in my time, but I have a reasonable idea of what they look like. Let's go a little bit more like that. And we'll also put that down into the ground as well to get some nice stability, just like that. So just like something like this with a nice roof over the top and a nice clear line of sight to the target out there somewhere. Gonna actually make myself a target. Oh, speaking of targets, there's a screamer cruising in. How you doing, love? I was right in the dome. Right in the dome. Gave me a level up too. Oh! Actually, before I keep building, there's a new tradition that I forgot. People were saying that I should have a shot at zombie skee ball every time I come into this world before I start the episode. And I quite like that idea. Given I spent the whole episode trying to get points and I never got any points, I feel like it might be fun to keep on firing some zombies and see where we end up in the end. So let's get myself a cheerleader just like that. Yep, right there. Let's get myself some grenades. And I'm only going to do 25 because it's much easier to do with that. Oh, I didn't turn off your AI. Sorry. Alright, whatever. You stay there. I don't really care where you are because you're not going to score anyway. I've had my glory moment of getting that switch 5-pointer. I don't expect to get anything close to that ever again. Oh, yep, that'll have to do. Whatever. It's going to have to do. Sorry, Chels. Didn't quite get the right spot. Oh, she's gone pretty straight though. She's gone for the board and... well... That probably would have ended up being a 2-pointer if she hadn't managed to slide down properly, but she went through the board. Whatever, that counts as a 0. Man, I love zombie skee ball. One of the more fun things I've ever built. It's ridiculous and dumb, but it's just exploiting zombie ragdoll, and zombie ragdoll is never a bad thing. Right, that out of the way, let's continue building my archery range. See, look at that. Just a little bit of effort, you get a nice little, like, a shooting platform to then aim over the desert and aim for your target. It looks kind of nice. Didn't take that long to build either. Just some railings and some steel blocks. But all the way out here, let's go, in fact, let's get like this. Let's get this block here. And we'll go all the way out to like, I don't know how far, maybe like here, because the bows are pretty good now. Let's go all the way out to there, I think, get a nice little channel going. And right down the end here, we'll build ourselves another little wall to put the target on for something to aim for. Let's get rid of all of these guys, actually. I don't need anymore. That one I do. Get rid of this stupid little plant that's in the way. We can paint it all later. The important thing is just get some targets up, then we can figure out what we're going to do with it after. That'll pretty much do it. Just put some targets down the middle like that. And then just like that, we have a lovely little archery range here. That looks perfect. Set up here with your bow. Aim for the targets. The zombies' heads will be right in front of the targets. That will be fine when we're testing that. Okay, now I don't need, if I don't need any of this stuff anymore, let's get rid of all of you. Let's get rid of, get some of my bows out. And let's go back over here. Now, what is my actual penetrator perk at the moment? I know I've tested it before. Penetrator is 5 out of 5, which is, what does the description say now? 5 weak spots in target's armor can use AP rifle bullets to shoot through multiple organic targets. So the description still says rifle bullets. There we go. Ignore 10% of armor with firearms and archery. Okay, interesting. So, armor piercing rounds can penetrate additional target whilst using hunting rifle or marksman rifles. So, you can't penetrate with the arrows, which is a bit of a shame. Yep, same thing there goes as well. Alright, so they've definitely, like, narrowed it down. It's no longer just if you have 7.62s, you can fire through a bunch of Jeffreys. It is now if you have to have the armor-piercing rounds to get through them, but you can ignore armor with the archery stuff. Interesting. Okay, well, let's just try it with a bow for now. Let's grab you, and let's bang in some steel arrows, because why not? And we'll give ourselves, if it wants some armored targets, let's go, let's start with Chelsea. Oh, she's facing the wrong way, but that's all right. Whatever. I want to see what's coming for her. She doesn't want to look me in the eye while I put an arrow through her forehead. Let's also go a biker, which I don't think typically they're classed as an armored zombie. I don't know. We'll find out when we get there. But I know that a soldier definitely is. We'll grab one of him, and we'll also grab. Oh, that was the wrong button. Also grab a demolisher as well. Demolisher. There we go. Okay. Whole bunch of ugly Jeffreys ready to be slaughtered. In fact. You know what, before I do that, let's get, what we're going to do, let's get a cheerleader like this. We'll go like this, and we'll get him in an all nice little line like that, and we'll just see if I can actually penetrate with an arrow. Let's see if that actually happens. Nope, still doesn't happen. Okay, so it wasn't just like an oversight in a description. You can't penetrate with an arrow, which is a little bit of a shame. That's kind of what I got excited about when I read it. I was like, oh, you can penetrate with arrows now. Like, I mean, I would always be a fan of seeing arrows getting stuck in my zombie targets and seeing where exactly I shot them. But like having like steel arrows, especially like some like, you know, a higher tier arrow, kind of like an armor piercing round, having a higher tier arrow penetrating targets, I feel would be a good addition. I thought that's what they brought in, but alas, it appears that is not the case. That's a little bit unfortunate. But, I mean, I suppose, if nothing else, at least we can penetrate armor on different zombies with the arrows down. So let's finish off these cheerleaders here. Sorry, it's a bit, I mean, look, I don't have my instant pistol anymore, else I'll make this a whole, oh shit, I made this a whole lot cleaner and a whole lot easier for all of us. Alright, there we go. Right, let's go up here and see how much damage we can do to each of them. I can't really see the stats up here, but I'll fire one arrow into each, and then we'll go check out the stats. This is the last shot. Please don't hit him in his button. Nah, he's all good. All right, let's go down here and have a look at what we've ended up with. By the way, to get these stats up, you need to be in debug mode, and you press numpad 0. I get that question a lot. Numpad 0 is the button to get all the stats and stuff to pop up so you can see what's going on. So I shot Chelsea, and she got, what, a fair bit of damage, actually. What damage is this thing doing? It's doing 46. Okay, that seems about right. In fact, it's done more than that. What's it done? 190. It's done, geez. Okay, I can't do math in my head. Hang on 2 seconds. So that did 69 damage. Nice. So 69 damage to Chelsea. What's that? That's 60... Ooh, 63 damage to the biker, which is good. There's soldier zombie. Was that 69 as well? 285 minus... Oh, I hope it's 69 as well. It's not. It's 107. Did I do that right? Hang on. That can't be right. 178. 100. Wow. Okay. Well, that's straight through his cheekbone, though. So that's pretty bloody good. It's a good shot by me. And the, the demo zombie's been done 50 damage. Well, he got shot in the shoulder. What about a headshot? Yep. What have you got now? What have you got now? I can't quite see. That did, what, 101? Okay. Is that the same for Chelsea? Oh god, you got ruined. That was 130 onto Chelsea. Okay. So it is actually doing some damage with the arrows now. I really wanted that to do penetration damage. Like if I get my just a regular marksman rifle, let's grab one of you and let's grab some 7.62s, because I was rolling around with just the regular, when this first came out, with just the regular 7.62s and penetrating Jeffries. What about now? How's this gonna go? Nope, see look, and now there's nothing. Oh, don't shoot this button, John. Don't ruin the thing you just built. Man, that kind of upsets me a little bit. I understand why the armor-piercing bullets would do more. Like, I would agree with that. Like, if you are a man with armor-piercing bullets, you should do more penetration perk. But if I'm going to load up on the penetrator skill tree, I feel like I should get more out of that from regular ammunition. I mean, these bullets would still travel through flesh. You know, like, I mean, like, there needs to be some sort of, like, balance there. Like, if I have a line of unarmored Chelseas, right? I've got, like, 10 Chelseas coming up in a straight line. A regular 7.62 with the full penetrator perk should maybe go through, you know, 4 or 5 of them. Or even 3. I'd accept that. Then you get the armor-piercing round, and you can go through, you know, maybe 5, maybe 6. But then, if you use the armor-piercing round and the full penetrator perk, you should be able to go through, like, 7 or 8. Like, you should be slinging slugs through a whole bunch of with very little work to be done. I mean, that's the way that it works in my head. It's a little bit of a shame that just regular ammunition can't penetrate anymore. It's a shame, but, I mean, we can't really... I'm a beggar, and I'm not going to be a chooser. I just realized as well that I painted the backboard of this the wrong color. I need that to all look the same. What kind of wood is that even? Is it this one? No, it was close, though. We can find it, though. Wood. Oh, that would be it. No, damn it, come on, where is it? I couldn't quite get the right color, but that looks about right. I mean, it looks like the targets are mounted on a wooden board, and that suits me just fine. I'm a little bit disappointed that the arrows don't penetrate. That's what I thought it was going to be, which is why I had all the different... Oh, jeez, well, my systems are all messed up. I've got shit everywhere now. It's why I had all the different arrows loaded up, ready to go, because I was fully preparing to see, you know, will a stone arrow penetrate more than an iron arrow? And, like, can you shoot flaming arrows through multiple zombies? Imagine how cool that would be. Imagine having a line of Chelsea. Well, let's not even stop it. Let's show you what I think this ought to be. This has gone from being a test to see how it happens to just being me showing how I think it should happen. Right, so let's say, I mean, let's use the compound bow, not the compound bow, the crossbow, despite my better judgment. But say you had a flaming arrow, right? Now, the coolest thing here would be if you, because it's all about the investment, you know, how you've invested the perks. If you've invested all those points into the penetrator perk, you should be able to roll up with a flaming bolt and go boom, all the way through them, and you should be able to set like 3 Jeffries on fire. Now, this isn't a steel arrow, right? It doesn't have as much penetrating power as the steel arrows do. The steel arrow should always be like the armor-piercing version of an arrow. But I should be able to go up here, set a whole bunch of maps on fire with 1 arrow if I've invested in that perk. That would be what I would think would be the best way to do that. The other thing as well, now this gets a little bit more tricky, and I would understand if this wasn't the case, because it's got a big stick of dynamite stuck on the end of it. But if I had an exploding arrow, you know, I'd want to be able to, like, penetrate maybe the first, maybe the second, and explode it, like, in the middle of a group. Kind of like a bunker buster bomb, you know? It doesn't explode as... I love that. It doesn't explode as soon as it hits the top of the bunker. It penetrates a bit and explodes on the inside. It goes a little bit further and then explodes to do more damage. Now, that would mean that you'd have to, like, you know, change the way you use it. You know, you wouldn't just be rolling with this thing because you're not going to kill the zombie who's directly in front of you unless there's someone behind it. But in the right situation, if you've spec'd into it and you understand how you're going to be using it, I can see that being a super valuable tool. Not the case though, which is rather unfortunate. But yeah, like, if you had just the stone arrows that weren't penetrating, I would understand. You know, stone arrow isn't going to get very far, but then you get the iron arrows. You know, it starts penetrating 1, maybe 2. Again, with some investment into the penetrator perk. You know, you start being able to put arrows through a couple of maps. You know, you line them up like that if you get lucky and get a couple of kills. But then, as I said, the steel arrows penetrating a whole bunch. That's the way that I would have liked to have seen it done. It's a bit of a shame that's not the case, but, I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to deal with that, don't we? I'm not developing the game. I'm just some Muppet Australian with an opinion who says it way too loud. I want to make sure that I've got everything right with the updates to this Penetrator perk, because that was like my favorite thing about Alpha 18. I mean, other than sending Chelsea into space, what I'm about to do is line this whole corridor here, this whole conga line with grenades. We'll set them all off one after one. But yeah, like the Penetrator perk was something I was wishing for in Alpha 17, and now that it's come along in Alpha 18, I feel like it's just been nerfed. That makes me a little bit unhappy. All right, that ought to do it. All those grenades over here have rolled down into a ditch. That's a little bit annoying. There we go, get them all spread out again. Pull the pin, and over to there. Alright, that should do the trick. Should it? Didn't do the trick nearly enough. This is what happens when you spread out your grenades. You don't get nearly as much fun, nearly as much bang for your buck. And the zombies are definitely not as spread out and as dead as I would like them to be. Alright, that'll have to do for now. Let's get the insta-kill death pistol and finish the rest of them, just like that. So I want to see how the Penetrator perk works now. Because I want to know, like, is that actually worth it now? I mean, sure, if you're going to have nothing but armor-piercing rounds, which I'm pretty sure are pretty hard to make. In fact, let's go like this way, 7.62. There we go. So, armor-piercing rounds, what are you going to take? No, that's the wrong one. I need... These are both boxes of 7 points. Oh, okay, that one. How do I make the normal one? Oh, for goodness sake. Just give me the right bloody recipe and we'll be fine. Okay, there we go. Bullet tip gunpowder, so you can craft the same ones. So it's the same. Is that all the same? It just takes more to do it, I suppose? That's very weird. Am I not looking in the right place? What am I missing here? Okay, so a regular 7.62 takes 1 bullet tip, 3 gunpowders, and 1 bullet casing, whereas the AP 7.62 takes 5 gunpowders. So it's just a magnum round, you know, there's more gunpowder in it, bigger bang, more speed, more penetration. That makes sense. But if you can't get penetration with the regular 7.62, is the penetration perk actually worth it? I don't think it's going to be. I'm going to do a couple of tests to see how it's going to work, which means we're going to need the Forget Me elixir, which is going to be in here somewhere. There we go, grab some of those, and just de-spec myself, which is a nice addition. I mean, it makes it easier to test stuff when I can like take myself back to being absolute mupplet with all my points left to spend. Alright, so I am now complete level mup. I've got nothing going on, nothing happening for me. I'm like a brass razoo on the floor of a china shop. I've lost the Penetrator perk already. Penetrator, there we go. So I'm now 0% on that. Alright, well, let's get a couple of guns, get a couple of AP rounds, because if it only works with AP rounds, it's definitely not worth it to me. So I've come out with my trusty marksman rifle and also a 44 Magnum, because I want to test those as well, because before, I mean, the penetration perk only affected the marksman rifle and hunting rifle. In fact, I'm going to get myself a hunting rifle as well, because why not? And that made a whole lot of sense. Firing bigger rounds, bigger bullets, more penetration, that's fine. The 44 Magnum, actually, in fact, if I go in here, I'm pretty sure, in fact, was it in here maybe? Was it in the books? And if I go down to the Magnum book, which is in here somewhere, Shotgun Messiah, Magnum Enforcer, shots from Magnums penetrate enemies. Okay, so that's going to give me that as well. Penetration regular and HP ammunition fired from Magnums can penetrate enemies and hit targets behind them. That's an important note. What about the sniper? What are you going to do? You can craft ghillie suit and bulk 7.62. Blend with the environment and become an ultimate assassin by wearing camouflage ghillie suit. You can craft ghillie suit, bulk craft all. So now, has that made the Magnum a better weapon for penetration than the 7.62 or the marksman rifle? I mean, well, the both 7.62 is the hunting rifle or the marksman rifle. Are they now better than just the normal? Okay, well, let's just use the normal rounds for now, and let's give myself, I mean, I've got no perks, but let's give myself all the Magnum books. Magnum, like this. Let's give myself all of these. 1, 2, 3. Did I get that? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's give myself all of those and see how that penetrates now. Because, I mean, actually, I probably should have done that. I maybe should have done that before after I tested it, rather. So with a regular round, what's that? So that penetrates 2, I think, I guess? Yep, so you get 1 extra kill with a full deck of the Magnum perk. What about on an armored zombie? Yep, same thing again. Okay. Right, okay. Or what about with a big bastard? So regardless of the zombie, regardless of the armor, you're getting penetration with the Magnum where you didn't have that on the marksman rifle. Let's just double check that. So we're getting all lined up and go boom. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on, I'm using armor piercing rounds. Okay, wait, that was a dumb test. Never mind. Let's try that again. Let's go like this. Nope, nothing there. Right over here. Oh, there's no more Chelsea's. All right, let's test it on the big boys. Nope, nothing there either. Okay, so, I mean, yeah, it all depends on what you find the books for, but if you find all the books for the Magnum, you're going to get more bullet penetration than you would with the rifle, which makes no sense at all, because that means that the Magnum becomes a more valuable, at least to me, a more valuable gun. Let's get a bunch of nurses. Very rarely use the nurses. I'm sorry, Chels. I wanted to try something different for a change. Still only 2. I mean, that's fine though, because I've got the, like, nothing in the Penetrator perk. Let's go find the Penetrator. There it is. Let's buy all of these. Boom. Oh, I've got to buy all these ones as well. Oh, it's going to take forever. Why can't I just, like, buy, like I say, I want to buy up to this one. If I have the points, just let me buy it. There we go. Full round of Penetrator. What are you going to do? Still only 2 with an armor-piercing round. Okay, what about the marksman rifle? Oh, the marksman rifle, the hunting rifle. No penetration on that one. That was nothing. Okay, that sucked. What about this one? Oh, that's right, because I'm using normal 7.62. So even with a full spec penetrator, nothing there. What about an armor piercing? How many are you going to pierce? What? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't think I'm gonna actually spec into the penetrator anymore. I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, yeah, sure it's worth if you've got a bunch of AP ammo, but like that's expensive and it's hard to find. Oh, they may have just nerfed penetrator. Oh, I'm pretty upset by that. It wouldn't be a fair test unless I gave myself the full spec of sniper as well to see how that's gonna go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't know why sniper 1 is after sniper 2, but whatever. Let's go in here and let's read that one and that one and that one. So if I can get normal penetration, some penetration with a full kit of the sniper books, then maybe that brings it back into line with what it might be worth it again. But I don't know. Let's get the regular 7.62s. There's 5 Chelsea's up on their own up here. So let's go boom like that. Nope, nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's so disappointing. They don't penetrate at all anymore. You can't. Oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame. So yeah, I don't know then. Maybe you guys have a better idea about what you want to use personally. But if I can't penetrate with the regular rounds for 7.62 anymore, which is kind of my whole idea for this, you know, firing high-power bullets into a crowd of zombies and letting it penetrate through all of them. Oh, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it makes the armor-piercing ammo more valuable, and I get that. But it also means that the regular 7.62 guns aren't as valuable anymore, because why? Why would I cruise around with a marksman rifle, or an AK, or a hunting rifle, when I can get myself a pistol or a Magnum? Like, yeah, why would I roll with the Magnum then? The Magnum's going to be so much better now, because I can cruise around with the regular bullets I'll find dime a dozen anywhere, and that are cheap to make. I think, actually, can I, what are they worth? 0.44. They are, so yeah, just a regular bullet. Why would I spend the resources to make an armor piercing 7.62 round when I can get penetration on a regular Magnum round? I don't know. Or maybe this was an exercise in making the Magnum more valuable. Maybe this is supposed to nerf the marksman rifles and the hunting rifles to make the Magnum a better gun. I'm not sure. It isn't the way I would have done it, but we have to adapt to what we have. Hopefully, them completely removing it and like giving it to the Magnum is an oversight now by bringing it back and, you know, give it a more of like kind of a structured, tiered feel to it, which I think would be better. But I don't know. We'll have to wait until the next update to see if that's the case. Interesting, very interesting. I mean, this all started because I wanted to shoot arrows to a couple of Jeffreys, and it turned into getting my whole world turned upside down. So there's one other thing that probably warrants showing you guys. I didn't really plan on showing this to you. I was expecting to spend the whole time just, you know, experimenting with penetrating arrows and seeing how my archery perk could be used to penetrate arrows through zombies and do all that kind of stuff. But then, turns out that's not the way it works. that's kind of the risk you take when you jump into a world and just start testing stuff. Sometimes, you don't know what's going to happen, and like your route through the episode just changes dramatically. You end up doing something completely different. But the other thing that they've changed in this B155 update is that the power drawbridges now default to being open. So rather than before, where power off was down and you had to power it to bring it up, now it is power down and off up, which is good for 2 reasons. One, it's going to look better as a missile silo, even though I don't use them anymore, but that was the issue I was having where I had to have the switches in different configurations between the hatches and the drawbridge to get the same kind of effect. So now, when you turn it off, the bridge goes up, which means it also is not as much of a power drain. So to keep your base locked down, to have your drawbridge up and everything secure, you're using less energy, less power than to have it sitting down, which I think is a good change. That makes sense to me. But there you go. Those are the 2, or what I think are major. I just ruined my ground with that, didn't I? God damn it. Those are what I think are the major changes going into B155. I mean, if you can't tell, I'm a little disappointed with the archery stuff. I was very excited to start slinging arrows through Muppets' heads from a distance. And, get like the penetration perk happening. Not only did they not give me that, not only did I not get what I was hoping for, they also took away what I was excited about with Alpha 18, being the 7.62 regular ammo penetrating. I mean, having the bonus for armor piercing, if you invest in the armor piercing rounds, getting that extra penetration made a lot of sense. But getting some penetration on the regular ammo also made a lot of sense. I don't know, this episode might end up being a little bit shorter than normal, and I'm sorry about that. Things just don't go as planned sometimes. Some things aren't what you expect, and you just don't get to do things as you kind of planned it out in your head. But I want to leave it to you guys. I want you guys to let me know. I don't often do a call to comments, but in this case I will. What are you thinking about this penetrator perk now? Are you going to lean towards the Magnum now, which traditionally I didn't use the Magnum very much, but is that going to be the new sought after gun to get that extra level of penetration with the books, or is it still marksman rifles and hunting rifles still going to be the way to go, or are you just abandoning it completely? Me personally, I mean, the penetration perk gave me a reason to invest into like a good marksman rifle or even a good hunting rifle. It made it a better option as you're speccing up the penetrator perk, getting that extra 1, 2, 3 penetration kills as it goes through. So it made a relatively useless gun in the hunting rifle and a mildly useless gun in the marksman rifle, made them so much more useful and so much better. They're taking it away, so I think personally now I'll probably just avoid them altogether, unless they fix that and like unnerf those guns, I suppose. Well, I want to know what you guys think the best kind of action plan is going to be with those guns now. But I'll have to read those comments and then come back and do some more testing or whatever update I put out next in another episode, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to all the patrons of Patreon who made this episode possible. If you liked it, make sure to like button down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.